Hi guys, so we're going to dig into this 16th of May 2019 paper here for Enterprise Component 3 Promotion and Finance for Enterprise. So let's get moving with this. So first up, here's our scenario. Now, we've got a photographer, okay, so yeah, he used to go to school photography club. He used the skills he learned at the club when he went to college. Okay, fine. All right, so he's always been interested in photography. Lovely. Tyler took photographs of the local area, then sold them to customers in the local art gallery. Okay, so this is suggesting a bit of geographic market segmentation there with local areas. Local art gallery. Alright, so it's worth just being aware of those points there. Okay, customers often asked him if he took family photographs, so then he can target a different audience. Okay, and this is of course demographic segmentation rather than geographic. So this gave him the idea of setting up a micro enterprise that he ran alongside his regular job. His micro enterprise became so popular that Tyler left his office job and ran his small photography enterprise full time. One area that Tyler wants to develop is producing photographs, photograph albums and videos of weddings. Okay, so this is more segmentation really. Okay. Meaning that he can target those that are engaged and so on. Tyler asks you for help and advice on how to develop his enterprise and general promotional and financial management of it. Alright, so there we go. That's our case study. So first activity that we've got, and let's just get that in focus for you there. Now, if I can zoom out a little there as well. Okay, so what we can see here is that Tyler is not well organised at managing his financial documents, and he is not sure about the purpose of these documents. He asks you for help. Complete the diagram by drawing one arrow from each financial document to match its purpose. An example has been completed for you. Okay, lovely. All right, so we just need to know what each of these are. So you may want to just pause this, test yourself now, and do that throughout. Okay, get into that habit of really testing yourself ready for this exam. Okay. So first up, when it comes to credit note, well, this is all about, of course, correcting errors. That one should come down here that are on customers' accounts. Okay, so we can sort that one out. Next up, we've got our invoices, and this is, of course, to show money owed. And then, of course, we're left with delivery note, which will fit over here to list details about an order received. All right, so nice, good stuff. Let's move it through. Now, next up, we've got a statement of account from his photographic supplier, but he's unsure what this is telling him. He asks you to take a look. Okay, right, so we can see various bits of information that are included here, and then we can see that the first question there is to identify how much Tyler owed his photography supplier at the end of April. Okay, that's a little bit of a gimme, okay, because we can see that total payment due there. Okay, so the total payment due is, of course, 585, so we would just put in 585. All right, lovely. Now, next one is identify how much Tyler owed his photography supplier at the end of March. Right, so now we've got to be a little bit more precise here in terms of identifying this amount correctly. So to establish this, what we can see, if I just get that back in shot, is that we had 425, 420 there, 495, but this is all April, okay? So we've got to go back here, and we can see that the account opening is 75 right there, okay? All right, so the amount there is going to be £75. So there it is. And next question. Identify how much Tyler paid his photography supplier during the month of April. So how much has he paid them throughout April, and what can we identify? Well, we can see it's that amount there, okay, that 375. So let's put that one in there like so. Okay, lovely job. All right, and let's move it along. So next question. explain one benefit to Tyler of his supplier maintaining accurate statements of accounts. Okay, so you've got one benefit, but you've got to explain that point. Okay, so again, have a go at that right now. Just practice writing those sentences. Okay, so first up, it will mean that he can plan his payments. So he can plan payments. And he can do that easily. Okay, so that's good news. Now, why is that so easily done, or why is that so so much better in terms of getting that accurate statement of account? Well, it means that he can identify due dates. Okay, so he knows when he's got to get that payment to the supplier. So identify due dates, and something like that will get you 2 marks. Now, you could alternatively say that Tyler knows his account balance is accurate. Okay, he can check his payments have been credited, as with that payment of 375 that we just saw. He knows how much he owes, and so on. Okay, so all of that works nicely. So let's move it along. So Tyler has received. Tyler has sent you the following email, rather. I recently completed some work for a local business, and I need to send them an invoice. The details are as followed. 35 staff portrait photographs priced at £14.75. So 5 staff photographs priced at £82.50. They are a new customer, so I gave them a 20% discount on the order. A delivery charge of £15 needs to be added onto the invoice. All right, so there we go. Let's have a look at the invoice for us to actually complete this information. So what we need to do now, of course, is we need to multiply this quantity by £14.75. Well, they've already done that one for us, and that totals £516.25. Now, we've got 5 staff group photographs, and 5 multiplied by £82.50 will go here. So can you have a go at completing this? Just see how you get on. Pause the video now. So what we should have here is £412.50. Okay, the total order is these two together, of course. So to work out that total order price, we've got to go 928.75, adding those all together. Now, we've got a 20% discount here, so if you multiply this by 0.2, that will give you your 20% discount, okay, in terms of establishing how much that is, and that is equal to £185.75. All right, and then we reach a subtotal. So here we can see what we've got our total, and we then need to subtract this discount to establish our subtotal, and that subtotal will give us a figure of 743. Delivery charges plus £15 means that it totals 758. Okay, lovely. All right. And we can clearly see that we've got the answer right there. We know it's 743. And if you did mess up and not get these numbers to match up, you could always work backwards just to get this extra mark here, okay? So you could go 758 minus 15 equals whatever that one is, okay? So that would be a way, if you're scratching around for the marks and getting the right answer, of finding that right answer. Okay, next one. Tyler has found out that he could use direct marketing to attract and maintain customers. State 2 methods that Tyler could use to carry out direct marketing. So 2 methods that he could undertake here. Well, the most obvious one is like junk mail or direct mail. Anything like that is going to work nicely, okay? So that works nicely. We could then focus on magazines, okay? It could be leaflets. It could be flyers, anything that comes through the door, something along those lines is going to work quite nicely, okay? All right, catalogues could be another example as well. Great stuff. Now, activity 3. Okay, so what we've got here, he wants to increase the size of this photography business. he will need an understanding of his costs and revenues. Of course he will, yeah. Okay, now, using the data below, calculate the total cost of Tyler's photography enterprise. So we can see we've got the fixed cost, we've got the total variable cost. All we've then got to do, well, have a go at this, of course, make sure you're sharp on this, is add the two together. So if we add those two together, then it means, of course, we will get a total figure of 2,920. Okay, so that is going to give us the right answer. Now it's worth just putting in the box below 1,420 plus 1,500 because doing so will get you a mark. Now if you've got this right, you'll still get the 2 marks, but just to make sure, it's worth putting down the working just in case you were to get it wrong, for instance. Okay, lovely. Right, next question here is Tyler has been told he needs to know the break-even point for his enterprise. Okay, so he's got to know his break-even point. Explain 2 benefits to Tyler's enterprise of calculating the break-even point. So what are 2 possible benefits here? Well, it means he knows how much he needs to sell. Okay, so it means that he gets a target for sales, and that's quite motivational. So that's good news. Now remember what we've got here. We've got 4 marks being available here. So given that there's 4 marks available, we've got to develop that point. We've got to develop each of the 2 points that we give. Okay, and it means that he knows when he will be covering all costs. Okay, so that works nicely. He's got a target for his sales and he knows therefore when he will be covering all costs, and he also knows when he will begin to actually make a profit as well. Okay, so it may also be useful for Tyler to actually forecast the profits of the business, and if he knows he's got X many photography sessions, if I can say it, booked in, he knows he can hit that target. Okay, right, so it also means that he can intervene in case the business is at risk of making a loss. Okay, so can identify risk of loss. Okay, and that means then that he can actually do something about that as well. Okay, so then can take action, intervene by cutting prices, cutting costs, cutting orders, okay, whatever it may be. Okay, so that works though, but we've got to explain whatever points we actually give there. We've got a blank page here. Okay, right, so now before Tyler decides to accept orders for photographing weddings, he needs to calculate the number of weddings he needs to photograph to break even. So we can see we've got our break-even formula provided for us. We've got the variable cost per wedding. Now that is not the total, okay? We've got the average selling price, 2 marks, and it's very nice to be given this information, but it's worth just making sure we're all okay putting this information in. So we've got to put down our fixed costs. We can see our fixed costs. That's going to be 2,520, okay, and that is going to be over the price. The price is £850 rather, £8.50, and of course the variable cost is 220. Okay, so we've then got to do 850 minus that 220, and of course this will then give us a answer which will be 4. Alright, so he needs to actually make 4 wedding sales to actually break even on these weddings, okay, given his unit contribution here, which the price minus the variable cost £630. Okay, so £630 goes into 2,524 times. Right, so there it is. So he needs 4 weddings. Excellent. Okay, now we've got a bit of break-even action here. So Tyler did some research and he changed his costs and sellings price for the wedding photography service based on the information that he has gathered. He constructs a break-even chart. Okay, right. So what have we got to identify here? Well, we've got to identify what the label X area is, okay? So that's our first one. So what's this shaded area X say? What does Y say? What does Z? And it's worthwhile just practicing each of these while we're on it as well. So what is this line? Okay, if I add in A here, what's line A? What's line B? What is point C here? And what is this line, line D here? Okay, so see if you can actually identify all of those accurately. Right, let's run through them. So area X is, of course, the area of loss. This is where your total costs, line A, okay, is greater than your income, your revenue, okay, which is, of course, line B. So this is that one. This area Y is, of course, your profits. Area C is going to be your break-even point, and Z is already on there. Actually, I didn't need D, but that is, of course, going to be your fixed cost line. Okay, so there it is. All right. Now, those questions there are nice and straightforward as long as you know your break-even stuff. Right, lovely. So Tyler is planning to use personal selling to attract customers for the wedding photographs and videos. He has decided to do this face-to-face. Explain one benefit to Tyler's enterprise of using face-to-face selling for his wedding photographs and videos. Right, okay, so what is one potential benefit that we could identify here? Now, within this structure, because we've got 3 marks available here, what I would suggest you do is you identify your point and then you say this leads to therefore. Okay, so that's the way you want to approach this, okay? So, one benefit to Tyler's enterprise using face-to-face selling. Give that a go now. Okay, right, so it could mean that he can actually increase sales. Okay, so he can increase revenue. Okay, that would work. Now, if he can increase revenue, why would that happen? Well, it means that personal selling, okay, face-to-face selling is quite persuasive. This leads to this method being very persuasive. It means that he can overcome any... Oh, can I put the spell persuasive? Yes, I can. Okay, it means that he can overcome any objections, and that is therefore going to be beneficial. Okay, he could also demonstrate the quality of his photographs and talk customers through, answer questions. Okay, like any of these points are going to help give you those extra marks, but you've got to base it off whatever you identify as your key benefit. The key benefit is increasing revenue. So how is that going to happen? And it may well be because it's more persuasive, that you can overcome objections, and so customers get to know it. All right, lovely. So let's move it along. So we're now on to 4D. Right, okay, so as part of his service, Tyler is going to offer potential customers the opportunity to pay by installments using direct debits. Okay, explain 2 benefits to Tyler of offering direct debits as a method of payment. Okay, I mean, again, we've got 4 marks available here, so we've got to explain each of those. Okay, so well, firstly, it means that when it comes to his cash flow, it's easier to forecast his cash flow. Easier to forecast cash flow. So that's good. And why is that the case? Well, it means he knows when payments will arrive. Okay, he knows when payments will be made. Excuse my writing again. Okay, when payments will be made. All right, lovely. Now, it could also mean that because he's breaking this down into installments, then it makes the actual expense of paying for his photography service more manageable. Okay, so it could be more manageable for his customers, and that may then help to actually increase sales. So you could say something like that. Alternatively, you could focus on it could save time. Okay, it's time saving. Okay, so why would it be time saving? Well, it's because once it's set up, you don't need to actually do anything. Time saving, once set up, payments go through automatically. Okay, so payments go through automatically. All right, lovely, lovely. All right, love it. There we go. Okay, another blank page here. And we're on to 5. All right, great stuff.